All right, welcome everyone back. Right now, we're going to adjudicate on the applications. There's no further input. Again, I'll remind everyone from the public on these applications. Let's go in order here on the agenda. Application for DM1, number 1. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, granted. Number 2 was held over. That was NL&M Holding Corp. All right, number 3, Baldwin Hills Realty, LLC. I'll look for a motion.
Do we want to discuss it first?
So, someone has to make a motion, and someone has to second it before we can discuss.
Motion to discuss? Is it?
You know, you gotta make a motion to grant.
Okay, I would motion to,
Or not grant.
I would make a motion to grant,
You could say for discussion
for
purposes.
discussion purposes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion?
Okay. I mean, personally, I think I'm in favor of granting this application. This is, if you look at it here, we're not talking about creating any new buildings. We're just, it's not gonna create any change in the community, and so I just don't see any harm, any reason to not grant the variance in this instance.
Right, the road is going in the same way, no matter
Correct.
what, whether it was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever, or today. I think there's a benefit to a certain degree, and we can condition that to the bike path and the walking trail and what have you.
Yeah, the applicant's willing to limit construction, right? Place an easement on the property.
Right.
With the exception of the comfort station, potential dock, the walking path and the bike path.
Okay. Joe, any language that we should add legally to this, or?
Well, the only thing that was discussed previously was the applicant made a representation that he does not desire to develop the remaining 10 acres and is willing to engage in a conservation easement for that remaining portion of the property.
Okay. Any other opinions, discussion?
Do we want to go through the test?
Yeah, let's do that. All the following must be taken into consideration for an area variance. Will an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the variance? I think they made the case and they showed a map of a mile stretch or so of Route 6, where there were many lots that are much smaller in size. Agree or disagree? Or?
I would agree, and given the circumstances, whether we grant this variance or not, you're still going to have 2 lots, and what we are getting is 10 acres of undeveloped land. If we weren't to grant it, if we weren't going to grant it, yeah, you know what, the lot line would change. We'd still have the problem with Kohler, where it's difficult for the people coming out of Kohler to come out. And I don't think it would be a good situation.
This
Yeah, I think
offering.
we have to consider how
Since they're
difficult it is
seniors.
for people to get out of Kohler. If he could still do the project, whether we do this or not, whether we grant this variance or not, it's gonna happen. And whether it's 3 acres on one and only 1 acre on the other, we still have the other 10 acres that encompass this project that we still are being given.
And again, there's not gonna be any additional buildings. We're only talking about the 2 approved buildings that are there.
Right,
So
with
there's
the
no
same
increased
footprint,
density.
the same parking parameters. All right, number 2, can any other method be used that does not require variance but still allow for the benefit requested?
Yes, but you're not gonna have the Kohler benefit,
True.
which is huge. A lot of seniors go into the Kohler building, they go in and out every day.
Number 3 is proposed variance substantial.
That's the easiest one. They're small. They're substantial, unfortunately, you know, where it stands.
Well, if you divide,
You're looking at one lot going from 2,
The
For variance of
lot 2 one
0.95.
is substantial, in my mind. The lot 1 one may not be, but again, it's the weight test too.
but you're also getting 13
That's true.
total, so you're really getting 6.5 on each, if you want to look at it in totality.
Which is small. Okay.
and again, these variances are not uncommon to typical commercial properties, and which
No.
are much less than
In that
what's being
corridor.
minimized on this request.
Again, as well, this is not gonna have a major impact on the environment, so I think that's another thing that would usually lead to the conclusion that it's not a substantial variance.
Which is number 4. Will the
Well, no,
proposed
that's-
variance have an adverse effect or impact on
You jumped
fiscal?
to 4?
But that also goes to the
environmental conditions.
substantiality of the variance as well. The fact that it's not going to impact the environment in any meaningful way by the granting of the variances.
And finally, is the alleged difficulty self-created? It's
The
not
benefit.
creating it, it's. I
Did you
think
skip the
it's-
benefit one? Sorry.
No,
I think we
well,
talked ad nauseam about the benefit one anyway.
well,
Yeah, he
Michael
jumped around. I
touched
jumped
upon it.
around. I'm out of order. I'm out of order. I apologize.
No problem. I don't think he's creating it, I think he's offering it as a benefit to the community with the bike path, potential for the bike path and the, the free green land that will be a benefit to the community.
And he could do it the other way as well. He can always, if we don't grant this, he could still build the road and do everything he wants to do.
Also, the fact that it's self-created, that's really not a reason to deny the variance application.
Okay.
But is it self-created? I don't know if it would meet that criteria anyway. In reading the law, I don't know if that would do that. I don't think it's self-created.
Okay. Any more discussion?
So on the weight test. Okay, no, I'm good.
Let's do roll call vote. Mark?
Make the motion?
Oh, he has to amend the motion. He has to make the full motion.
Well, I would make a motion to grant the requested variances on the condition that, one, the applicant has to file a subdivision map with the county clerk, or with the county of Putnam, right?
All right.
Putnam County Clerk.
This is hinging that filed applicant.
Correct. That needs to be filed. And
The
two-
matter's going to go back to the planning board, and one of the contingencies would be the filing of the subdivision map.
Correct. And two, that that there will be a conservation easement on the lot, which will, in accordance with what the applicant offered to us earlier today,
Bike path.
yeah, with no further development of structures, I believe is what he said, with the exception of a possible comfort station, a dock, a bike path, and a walking path. Did I put that correctly? And the road, correct.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Mark?
I agree, yes.
For the
Michael,
motion.
for the motion. Bill?
Or
Rose?
Or,
Sylvia?
4.
And I am for the motion, so the motion carries. Okay, number 4, Matsukis.
motion to grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, granted. Number 5, Kamala Associates LLC. They, again, were seeking interpretation and use variance. So we need to discuss the interpretation. So do we interpret that this is, that the 1984 zoning board variance condition that the residents shall revert to a guest cottage when the mother vacates the building is invalid, that it is personal in nature to the applicant? So look for a motion on that interpretation or denial thereof.
acres to do it.
I think the motion would probably be best couched in the affirmative. The motion would be to remove that restriction from the decision and order. I don't have the 84 decision and order in front of me.
Okay.
So the motion would be to remove the restrictive language being X, Y, Z.
That the residents shall revert to a guest cottage when the mother vacates the building.
Correct.
All right, do I have a motion to revert that interpretation from 1984?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that being said, we have the issue with a use variance. So I would look for a motion that this,
Well, I think there was another interpretation, right, on the office building, that it will cease, that the building will cease to be an office building upon the sale or transfer
Yeah,
of
if
the
you're gonna handle
subject
the
property.
if you're gonna handle the interpretation.
I think we should
of
handle both.
issues, there was a second one with respect to the office garage building, that the office building will cease upon the sale or transfer of the subject property. The applicant is asking that that be invalidated.
And I'd make a motion to invalidate that restriction in the decision and order.
I'll second that.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So now, we make a motion to,
Now, with respect to the third aspect of the application, I would note that the building inspector has requested a referral back to the planning board, specifically for site plan approval, and that's under the auspices of 56-9H, which requires site plan approval required for all use of land except detached one-family dwellings and detached two-family dwellings in their permitted accessory uses. So the board can do one of two things. They can heed the advice of the building inspector and make a motion to refer it back to the planning board, or you can move forward with respect to the use variance and go through the use variance criteria.
I'd make an application to refer the use, or the use of the primary structure back to the planning board for site. Oh,
that'll help you.
all right, I guess I would make a motion to, excuse me, I'm sorry, to send the application back to the planning board for review under Town Code Section 156-9H.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Just so the applicant understands, now you're going to have to process a site plan application before the planning board so they can review what it is that you want to do at that specific site location, and then it will be referred back to the zoning board for consideration of the use variance. So when they approve, then I have to come back here? When and if the planning board approves it, you'll have to come back here for consideration under the use variance. What I would suggest you do is contact Rose in the planning department, and she'll assist you with the paperwork for that. Well, that you should talk to your attorney. Because this is an existing structure, so. You should talk to Mr. Schilling, and he'll explain what we just did. Okay?
I think one more point in the application 2B, that you want to convert the office to studio apartment.
Right, that's, you have to go in front of the planning board for that.
Yeah, that's why
one
this
we have to-
board referred it back to the planning board,
That one
because
has to
they
go
want
back
the
to
planning
planning.
board to discuss it.
Oh, so that one going to the planning board.
Yeah.
But then number 3, like approval.
No,
That's what you're gonna
this
come back
board
for.
did not act on that issue. They want a referral from the planning, back to the planning board first. Okay, so you, essentially, there's been no decision on the use variance.
Right.
So the only approval I have is on file number 8,
On numbers 1 and 2, the conditions that you wanted removed were removed.
1 and 2A.
Correct.
So they're approved.
Okay.
Fails.
Minutes?
That's, number 6, Estelle Sales. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, granted. All right, minutes from October. I'll look for a motion to accept it.
Motion to grant,
Accept.
To accept?
accept,
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And minutes from November 17th. Do I have a
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
Seconded by Michael? All in favor?
aye.
Okay. I wish everyone has a great holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, and happy holidays to all. Be safe. Thank you.
All a good night. All a good night.